Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Hi, RS. How are you, love? All right, guys. So let's get into this. We're going to do a specific message and two things. So, first off, I literally pictured somebody that was like, it was very specific. They were like outside and they were holding their phone and then like trying to get the glare off the phone so they could see the screen. But it was because they were trying to check an update on their phone, but it was specifically like somebody was going to someone else's account. Now, I don't even have TikTok. I don't have Facebook. I don't, there's all these things, but I couldn't tell what it was, but it was like one of those that I don't even have. In my mind's eye, somebody was checking to see somebody's account. Maybe it was Instagram, maybe it was Threads, maybe it's, I do have Instagram, but it was just something that I couldn't recognize necessarily, but it was like somebody was checking another person's account. I don't know. Maybe it was YouTube. Maybe it was, whatever, WhatsApp. Now, because it was definitely like a social media platform thing, but it was, and I don't know who it was yet, a him or a her. I don't know if they were checking a him or a her. It doesn't matter yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. And then maybe this is just because I like this song, although I haven't heard it in forever. But I was hearing Mystical Fever by Mystical. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if that's somebody's like ringtone maybe, or, okay, we have a Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is lying. Seven of Swords is, hey, AC. Baby, I'm sorry that you got a headache. Sending you lots of healing. Hi, everybody. I'll try to talk calmer and softer for your headache, babe. With that Seven of Swords, though, this is somebody who lies. This is somebody who's not honest about things. This could be somebody who is checking incognito or something on somebody else's, social media to see their updates, their posts. Three of Wands. Okay, we have the past and we have the future. So let me see if we can figure out first off in what context. Is this somebody who's hoping to see what their ex is up to? Is it because they are hoping, even if they won't admit it to themselves, that somebody from their past will be somebody that they get to see in their future? I don't know if this is about love. Can we see what context this is? Are you checking for love? Are you checking about family? Are you Wheel of Fortune? Well, this is definitely, I feel like finally we could have a brand new like energy flow, a new beginning. It feels like it's divine timing. There's a reason this person has not been around in a long time, but now it's like this gateway is opening. I feel like it's the right time. This could be around somebody's birthday. It's just the sun is so prominent. I'm thinking about Leo. Is this somebody who's checking up because they're like, it would be very timely for me to maybe reach out to them? Okay, so we have a 10 of Cups. So we're going to go ahead and settle on in to the idea that this is probably an emotional bond. This is somebody who obviously they still think, even though I don't know why they're lying about it, but they still think about the past. They think about the future. They feel like something is different about this timeline right now, where, you know what I want to say? It's like, if only I had met you now, it all would have worked. You notice how we have the snail here? It's like, oh my God, I met you at a time and nothing worked, and now time has passed. But finally, if I met you today, everything that happened before, it would be different today than it was back then. Now it could be the 10 of Cups. So they may be looking, almost checking somebody's social media, checking their photos, because it's like there's no blockage anymore. There's nothing in the way anymore. If I had met you today, it would be the right time. Okay, why do we have the lies? By the way, I don't know if this person, we have all these like militarized metals, but it could be anything. What I see here on that cuff with the gold buttons makes me think somebody who works in like anything from military to law enforcement, pilots. It looks like a dark navy blue jacket with the gold buttons. And I could see somebody who's got, I know we see like medals, but I'm picturing like bars or stripes or something also on a jacket of sorts. I guess they could also, just because of all those knives, I'm thinking maybe somebody could be a chef as well, but it's somebody who wears a uniform for sure. They could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. With the whole dinosaur thing for the past representation, I'm thinking this was a long time ago. Long time ago. I mean, this could have been, a decade or more. This could be like, oh wow, we had ancient history. Also, though, is there some new dinosaur movie out? Is there like yet another Jurassic Park or something? Because I don't know if maybe somebody met around the time of some other Jurassic Park film that came out, or that's like a timeline or something, or if that denotes something in this storyline. But I don't know. It could just represent the past. And we definitely have like a turning of the energy, right? There's something is different like on Earth now or in their world now as to why this could be possible at this point in time, why love is possible. This is actually, I really like this particular 10 of Cups. I feel like it's somehow it does come across as very soft, very lovely, very loving kind of energy. Okay, so let me just go back into the story. We have a 10 of Swords. So whatever, remember I was trying to ask about the 7 of Swords. What's the lying about? Or, I was attributing it to somebody who isn't wanting to admit either to themselves or not wanting to admit to somebody else that I'm checking up on you because I still think about you. And we have a 10 of Swords. So this person is lying to themselves, trying to pretend that, the ending that already occurred a very long time ago maybe isn't total and complete. This definitely gives me, with the zebra stripes, somebody who is like born in the 70s or 80s. It's just the white, I guess it's tiger stripes, the white and black tiger stripes. I instantly think of like hair bands, wearing like vests or leggings or jeggings or something that are, white white tiger stripes. Obviously something came to a full stop here, like full stop, but they're lying about the ending. Eek, Knight of Wands. What? Hang on, let me get one more. By the way, this gives us a bit of a location now also, simply because we have what looks like either Brazil or China here, and then we have Mexico or maybe somewhere in South America with this particular pyramidal building structure. I guess we could go maybe to India though also, and Bali. We have the Empress. And again, with that red light, everything here said full stop. Is that Gwen Stefani? Stop. Is that, it's bananas, Bananas? There's some song, full stop. Anyway, sorry, I think it's a Gwen Stefani song, but it might not be that one. Again, was that like 20 years ago or something? But this feels like red stop sign, red light. Everything says I can't treat an empress like I can bounce into her world and then bounce back out. And they weren't willing to talk to her because if you look down here, we have kind of like it almost looks like a cultural reference to like someone in like the Amazonian culture or something, and they've got like a piercing through the tongue, but it's like a little arrow, but it's like a an intentional, like maybe spiritual process or something. But I'm looking at it more like this person wasn't going to tell the truth to an empress, which is why things came to a total end, which would have been the best I could give an empress would be a knight's amount of energy. That's why it came to a full stop. But this is still them under the header of why. What did you lie about? What is the lack of truth here? And it looks like they were lying that this thing was going to be over, probably because it was. Even then, they were like, I can't give more to an empress right now. So although I have to accept that it's over, I don't ever really want to accept that it's over because someday our day will come. That's more the way this looks to me right now. Hey, night owls. Great to see everybody. We got the Four of Swords. Yeah, there's definitely, he's been hoovering around. And I'm okay, now apparently we're talking about a him and a her. We know that we have that knight that showed a masculine. We have the empress that obviously shows a feminine. She could be a Libra or a Taurus, by the way. May look great in a bikini, and she may have like a very classical figure. You know, if you look back at art, you know, she's obviously a statue here. But the physiques were, you know, not enhanced surgically the way we do in today's world. I think she's a very like classical beauty. But he's been hoovering around her all this time, is what it looks like energetically at least. So that's what the lie is about. The lie is about it's over. No, I never believed it was over. It was just temporarily over because an empress deserves more than what I was going to be able to give her. But you notice how this is somebody out in their Zen garden. And he imagines she sits on this rock and he's like, you know, calmly, you know, raking patterns to kind of like soothe himself. I feel like this has given him quite a bit of stress, but it's either thinking about her or checking up on her social media gives him a peace and a calm. And I feel like he's done this certainly for the last 4 years. Sorry, but this is, again, specific messages are what they are. We try to go with as much detail as possible and put, you know, as many little components into it as what comes up. I look at this as 4 years. So at least for the last 4 years, he's heavily been, I think, checking up on her social media from like the dark side of the moon. I don't know if somebody likes, what'd you call it? Pink Floyd. Again, that gives us, you know, 70s, 80s. I feel like this is about somebody's birth time. So I don't know if they're about 50s, 40s, late 40s, 50s, somewhere in there. But they have used her like presence as like a crutch to calm their energy and somehow still feel like they imagine that they're connected to her and like somehow she still like waits for them, even though obviously we've got some fantasy aspect in this story from what I can see here. Let's just go ahead and ask, does she have any clue that they will say spy on her? Seven of Pentacles. No, I think she might have thought about them quite a lot. You notice how it almost looks like we have this little tower that's been built, but now she sleeps real good at night. She sleeps with ease. She's got a lot of peace and calm. She's not having nightmares about them. She's not letting them, you know, thoughts of them screw up her sense of peace. Once upon a time, she may have. But you notice how all the flower petals are off of, at least this poppy is totally denuded. By the way, somebody could like poppy seed muffins just because, you know, that's literally, if a poppy loses its poppy flower, then you know, if you shake it, it sounds like a little baby maraca because there's poppy seeds inside. But I'm just literally picturing somebody and getting them stuck in their teeth right now. That could be her. Maybe she likes baking. Maybe she's recently been thinking about, I want a poppy seed muffin, but the poppy there's no more petals. We have a new flower that's going to bud, but right now it's more like a dreamscape. And I feel like this is the hand of the universe, you know, tapping her on the head, going like, sleep well. You know, you've come through quite a bit of time where you used to think about this person a lot. Now you're sleeping easier. You've reached the point where a Seven of Pentacles is always like, it's harvest time. It's time where everything that we have been doing is finally like making real traction, and now things are about to get better. We have the Star that is in the reverse. That kind of makes sense to me with the Seven of Pentacles, simply because she hasn't achieved a goal, or she hasn't physically gone anywhere different. She's not like she could still live in the same place that she did back when she knew them. But I just kind of feel like there's something else coming up for her to be able to harvest right where she is. I almost think that, you know, there's two different ways that we make things happen in life. We either say, okay, I want this and I'm going to reach for it and I'm going to go up and away to go get it. or we gravitate and we pull things toward us. And I feel like she got grounded and pulled positive energy toward her. So she's not up in the stars looking for something up above. It's more like the stars are coming down to her, is what I want to say. By the way, she may like skinny dipping. I don't know if she gets the opportunity to do it, but skinny dipping is the best, by the way. If that's, it should be on your bucket list if you've never done it. Fantastic. Anyway, 9 of Pentacles. I'm speaking on behalf of a friend. 9 of Pentacles. She's doing really well in life. She's doing really, really well. So no wonder she doesn't really think about them. She doesn't really have that on her mind. She may have like satiny pajamas, like top and bottom that she sleeps in, which is funny with the juxtaposition of skinny dipping, but then like being, you know, oh so modest with your silky pajama pant set. Maybe she's a funny blend of modesty and then totally like au natural. I don't know, but the yellow and pink roses are also, it's like a decidedly like 1950s pinup girl kind of vibe that we get from her. Even the kind of retro couch that she's on. So she could have, you know, we already said kind of like classic beauty, but it could literally be like pinup girl style classic beauty. I don't see any part of her that is clinging to the thoughts of them in the past. Yeah, not at all. 2 of Swords. I definitely think, though, it could be in the last 7 months that she's really, really stopped thinking about them. And I only say that because something has shifted in this year for her. This is Year of the Snake. And I really think that her personal contentment has just kind of like blossomed, her personal happiness. The 2 of Swords is, you know, the things that we block, but and sometimes we block things unwittingly, but this is her facing her own self. And we have this change in energy here with the snake, because the Year of the Snake is all about change. And the other version of her has like the fox. And I'm wondering if she's realized what I don't want any more of is anybody that plays foxy little games with me. I don't want to have to spend any of my precious energy wondering what games somebody else is playing or what sly things are going on behind my back. I don't care. If people are sly, if people are watching me when I don't know they are, who the hell cares? I hope you get your jollies on then, because I guess that's what you're going to do, spending your time. But I'm not going to worry anymore about whether or not somebody is paying attention to me and let it get in my head. There's something here about like she is blocking, maybe she blocked them, but I think it's more like she's changed by not caring anymore. You know, there will always be like some element of sneakiness, but you know, that can surround us in life, but she just doesn't care about that anymore. Who cares if somebody's, if their fun is watching me? Okay, I guess that's cool. Like I would just say, if she had an awareness that they used to spy on her, or she sensed it, or she guessed it, she just doesn't care anymore. And I don't think she has, maybe since the start of this year. Remember, I mean, we're literally in the 7th month of the year. And when the first card we had when we talked to her was the 7 of Coins. And I was like, oh, it's been a long time since she stopped worrying about them. She's sleeping good these days. So it could literally be that since the beginning of this year, she just stopped wondering, worrying, or caring. That would make sense, and she's like in that wonderful 9 of Pentacles energy. Yeah, she's just good doing her own thing. So let me jump back over and say, okay, so you're spying on her social media, and we definitely did see that. You spy on her social media here because you're still telling yourself, now, if I could have met her now, it would all be so different. So I think the card we need to look at is, what are you hoping for with that 3 of Wands? The Star sideways. So hoping to get to wherever she is. 7 of Cups. The Star is about healing things. Hoping she might want to heal things with them as well. They might be more spiritual. God, Temperance. But then we got the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. That's actually, I want to like, ideally, I would want to figure out if there were a way to heal things. So the future is not them saying, oh, I want her back now. It's more like, I wish that I could heal things if I could figure out how. Now I wouldn't hold back anything. Now I could be in an equal and balanced connection. If only. If only that were possible. What are you seeing when you spy on her? I'm just curious. What do you see when you spy on her? And he's like, literally, remember I said at the beginning, I was seeing somebody like holding like their hand up to block the light on a cell phone. And here he is, you know, granted he's looking into the distance, but holding the hand up to like block the light. So I don't know if he's in a sunny area or something, or if he looks at a specific time of the day, maybe when he's outdoors and there's like a heavy glare, because here we see him outside. But we have the castle in the sky floating up behind him. I said, what do you see when you look at her? And it's like, I see my destination. I see my fantasy location. I see where I'm going to go. We've got the Ace of Wands sideways. I'm definitely going to stick with fantasy, because I think what he remembers is once upon a time, she used to love me. Once upon a time, she used to want me. Once upon a time, we had some passion. And you notice on this card, we've got this hand who's literally, you know, like the giant's hand coming down and picking up the tree right and rooting it right out of the earth. And then we've got this phoenix rising from the ashes. So when we say, what do you see when you look at her? It's like, I see the fantasy of where I want to be, the passion I'd like to recreate, but I do know it might take like an act of God, some serious supernatural powers, mythological creatures to help me out here. And the Tower. I see the what I lost. That's what this boils down to. I see the future that I want, and I see the situation of how much I've lost. The Tower is, you know, it's like they're able to reflect on what they have missed out on. Now, that's not exactly the way I was asking the question, though. I basically wanted to know, how do you see her? But instead I got like the answer of, when you spy on her, what are you getting? And it's more like, we just saw how they feel about their own role in all of this. But I do still want to ask, but what do you see when you look at her? Specifically, this is more about her through your eyes. Six of Wands. So he sees somebody who's moved on. He sees somebody who's, you know, put a little orb of protective light around the goblin head and has become, you know, with the Six of Wands, very successful. He sees how far she's come. He sees somebody who's pretty amazing. We have a Ten of Pentacles. He sees somebody who loves her family, somebody who's, I mean, we already know he sees her as an empress, but it's like, that's somebody to build a tree of life with. I feel like she's probably, I don't know, just the epitome in his eyes of what a long-term relationship partner would be like and would act like. And got the Ace of Cups. Yeah. He knows she's very, very loving also, but this is like this cosmic love. I feel like he falls more in love with her when he spies on her. She may have recently like posted pictures of herself outside by trees, out in a park, maybe a family gathering, family barbecue. If she graduated from something also, she may have recently posted a picture about that. Or something about a success in her life that I think he's been able to spot and see. But all of this, he sees her happy for sure. I don't know if there was a toast, a moment of, you know, raising glasses to give a toast, but it's definitely pure positivity when he looks into her life, peers into her life online like this. So I guess the final question then is just, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And we have the Hermit. Well, he's still going to be thinking about things. And in the meantime, I'm assuming continuing to spy. Virgo energy on that. We have a Three of Pentacles. I think the biggest component here is He's going to keep thinking about what would it take to maybe try this again. Because remember that Three of Wands card speaks of the future. And I always look at the future as anywhere from 3 days to 3 months. And the Seven of Cups is like all the different ways you could handle things. How could I fix things? How might I approach? How might I try to talk to her again? In the meantime, I keep spying and I keep doing some deep thinking. And in the meantime, he's single and alone. He may not sleep very well. He may spend a lot of his nights thinking about her. But it's with the intention of trying to figure out, how do I possibly step back into her world, if that's at all possible? Because we got the Tree of Life again, we got that Three of Pentacles. How would I step back into her life? Is there a possibility? We have the Judgment. And even here with this Judgment card, we have like, I think he's thinking about this in every which way, every scenario, saying, okay, if I reached out this way, would she talk to me? Because we have it's the same feminine coming out of the coffin all these different times around this Tree of Life. So the Tree of Life is a big deal here, or trees in general. Maybe she lives in an area with heavy trees. Maybe she likes trees. He knows that, plants trees. There's something here. Remember when we had the Ace of Wands also, and it was like uprooting a tree. So I mean, trees always, to me, it's about family. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of element here of her family, his family. Maybe family was a reason he wasn't ready to be a part of a family with her, because he was dealing with his family. I mean, that sucks in a big way, because if you're in love with somebody, and obviously, well, at minimum, he seems to be obsessed with her, but, seeing her as a 10 of Cups, shouldn't your first thought have been, she's going to be my family, which means I want to integrate her into, whatever the family is that I already have. If it became a choice between her or my family, and I have to deal with my family first, that would, to me, seem like, so you didn't want her to be a part of your family. You wanted to be done with your family, so then you could go and be maybe a part of hers. There's something here that the tree is too prominent too many times for me to not think that what was always at stake and always the question mark is, maybe it was like he didn't know if he could uproot from his family, since we do have the uproot. Maybe it was a situation where it's like, I can't leave, I can't move. If I have, kids until my kids are grown up, and then I can move, from one state to the next. But again, those would be things that you would normally talk to a partner about, especially if you want to be with them and you figure out a way to make it work. We did see the star, and I was like, well, it doesn't look like she's made any big changes, but then we saw the star sideways. So maybe he's been at a distance from her. At the very beginning, we also saw military. Maybe that was it. If you can't just say, okay, I met somebody, so I'm going to stop my contract that I signed with the military. It's like, oh, they're not going to say, sure. Like, you have to finish that out. So maybe he did have a contract, and maybe he wasn't honest about that. And maybe it was like, military family. It just keeps saying there was something about he couldn't uproot himself at some point in time, but now that seems to be different, and he keeps thinking about how it could be different now. Now he could be present. Now he could be home. Now he could be, building roots with her, with that Three of Pentacles. Now I'd be around. Can I get one more on that? Because that's a pretty critical component of this storyline, because it explains more about why he did what he did, or where the obstacle was. Again, it shouldn't have been something two people wouldn't have talked about, though. We have a Nine of Wands. I don't know, because we got all these ghostly figures behind him, and that Nine of Wands is that wounded warrior. But we have like this dank, dark forest with all the trees. I don't know. There's something else about all of this, because it's more complicated than just, oh, I had this job contract, but I didn't tell her. That doesn't even track for me. That doesn't make sense. This is about him being free enough to approach her, though. He has to come onto her turf. He has to cross the river for her. metaphorical or literal. He has to move to be with her. Can I just ask though, why would you not have been able to talk to her about this previously? I don't get it. 10 of Wands. Okay, so he was carrying some kind of heavy burdens. And this is usually somebody who says, well, you see, I'm the dawn of the family. I have this heavy mantle of responsibilities. I have, debts that I owe to other individuals that I must, I don't have a choice. Like my hands are tied. I could understand, like, let's say your parents have helped you out at some point in time, or even just, I mean, we all know if family calls, you show up, right? For the most part. But let's say it was more extreme than that. I have to be in a certain area because Nana's elderly, mom and pops are getting elderly. I can't live with myself if I leave, go a different direction. But on the other hand, there's also a powerful, like I have a lot of people they've been good to me in my life. I owe them. It's an expected thing. It's I must render my services to my family members. And there's a whole bunch with that. This is a 10. There's a whole bunch of people I either owe or make me feel like I owe them, because this can be guilt and shame and fears and all kinds of, I mean, obviously this has aged this person tremendously, but it does seem like maybe they didn't want to admit, like, I feel guilted into, remember they started out as a liar, but I didn't look at them as like a liar that was trying to like sleazily get away with something. It's more like maybe they lied about, if you look at all those metals, maybe this was a very high expectation that, you do the honorable thing, you follow through, maybe they came from a family that had like high levels of expectations, you have to operate with honor, with integrity, blah, blah, blah. Even if that wasn't really the way the family operated, but it was still the jurisdiction he was raised under, this is what you must do. All of that could have been difficult to explain, especially if you know it's bullshit. Well, see, I have to do whatever the family says because I owe them, not because I really do, but because in my family, we say these things, even if it's all bullshit. You have to follow the program. You have to do what the family says, because if you don't, you'll be so filled with guilt. But it does mean I have to pick them over you. I can't leave. I can't move away. I can't go really just invest in my own life because I am an extension of my family. My family owns me. This could be like the eldest son who, like, it's expected this falls to your shoulders. And even if that's a very outdated thing, perhaps it was still the energy that he was raised in. And maybe it's very hard to explain. I don't know. I'm not trying to give him passes or whatever. I'm just trying to understand the complexities of this, because that family tree is way too frequent in this. And those burdens of obligation that made him put his own life on the back burner, even though he's saying, now, if I had met you now I'm free of that. So I don't know. This is somebody, I don't love the fact that they've been steeped in lies, though. It's very hard to live in lies. And that was the first card out. So, and then when we get that wounded energy and the ghosts of family members behind them, maybe they're free of that energy now, though, too. That's why they're saying everything could be so different now. If only I had met you now. If only now. It's been a long, long, long time, but finally I could be in a balanced relationship with that Temperance card. Finally, now I could give what I was supposed to. I don't have to hold the majority of my energy, my money, and my time back because I'm obligated to give it to family. It doesn't make sense why she couldn't have just been brought into his family, but it's always been like he wanted to not do that for some reason. Can I ask one question about that? Why would you not have wanted to just bring her in? The Sun. King of Cups, the Lovers. That doesn't make any sense really to me, because it says she's this great, happy, wild, free spirit. I want to go where she is, and I want her to want to pick me. it could be that he was worried she wouldn't want to be with him if he couldn't match her in like that sense of freedom. He was ashamed of maybe his inability to, like, it's tough if you live in a lie. You have obligations put on you that you know don't make sense, but you also don't have, you know, the backbone or whatever it is. You just can't break away from it. And you see her as this free, wonderful, loving spirit, and you want to be happy with her, but you want her to pick you. But if you're not going to be able to join her in that energy, at some point, it's like she's not going to want to pick me. She's not going to see me as somebody who can match her. So I'm wondering if that's the real reason this was. He tried with that Lover's card, or excuse me, with that ace, blah, the Knight of Wands. He tried, and also tried to not tell her the reality. He tried bouncing into her life, bouncing back out, like almost keeping his obligations to family a secret. None of this here says that he had some other like lover. None of it says that he was married. None of that. It's more like I keep getting like eldest son kind of energy with, you know, here's the expectations. You are the heir. You are the person of the family. This is what you must do. This is your role. It was more like an inherited, passed down set of burdens that you must carry because that's the way it is. Even if, again, that was all a bunch of BS, even if there wasn't really a whole lot of honor within a family, there was still like the, you know, the illusion of it and the rules and regulations. But I do think he tried being with her and then still disappear and then be with her. But it boiled it down to all this is just a physical connection, because you're not really here to build. We're not building an empire. You're not actually building roots with me. It's like, well, no, because I'm still rooted to my extended family, and I don't want her to see that. So there's definitely been way too many lies in all this. I can understand all of the sensitivities to it and the complexities of it and why you wouldn't want to admit that because it's kind of embarrassing. But I can also understand why he's saying, if only now, if I had met you now, everything would be okay. I can see why he's thinking and thinking and thinking of so many different ways. How could I approach now that things are different? You know, what would be the best approach? Because he's seeing the life that he's missed out on. You know, he's definitely seeing that, what he could have already built and hasn't. But with that Seven of Cups right now, for like between now and whatever now in the next 3 months, it seems like he's picturing what approach could I take to maybe reach out to her. And no wonder he's losing some sleep with that Hermit's card. You know, we see him trying to come up with a game plan here. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Yeah, that was definitely one about family ties, huh, Dana? Yeah, for sure. And well said. Well said. Yeah, definitely like steel bars sometimes. You guys, thank you so much for being here. RS, right back to you. I appreciate you so much, honey. Thank you for your amazing energy. Alana Williams, Inso Mom. Ah, Gabriella. Wonderful to see you, honey. You guys, I actually did record a Virgo video, and Aries barked and then popped up and told me how happy he was. I'll probably release the Virgo video with the barks, but I'll still give Virgos a different video because I feel like it wasn't fair that you guys are going to have a lot of noise, Virgos. Lexus, thanks for being here. Calm C, thank you for being here, love. Q Miller, awesome to catch you. Ginger Montague, AC, Catherine Gordon. Shout out to you in SoCal. You guys are so nice. I love how kind you are to each other. I feel like it's such a nice, I don't know, just like always a little party hanging out together. It's so fun. That's always what I hoped my channel would feel like, but I didn't really know that it would get there. It's so nice. AC and Sandy. Oh, Ginger, I'm sorry that happened. EM, hi, sweetie pie. Empress Unicorn, wonderful to see you. Hey, sweet. I love that calm sea. And it's so nice that you're hanging with us as the Night Owl Club. It is so sweet. Yeah, Ruben, great to see you over here again tonight, honey. Thank you again, ×2, for your beautiful donation. Thank you. I hope Aram and Noah are nice and furry and happy and taking mini walks with you. Is Noah still in his backpack? Alexis, that's so sweet. Yes. Can be your superpower. I love that. Delinda, so good to see you. Delinda, I didn't forget about ophiuchus. We'll still get to ophiuchus on the other channel tonight, okay? Yes, it's going to be late. It'll probably touch on, even Monday morning just because I got started so late tonight because I wasn't home until late tonight. Thank you, guys. Yeah, you're up late because you can't sleep. That is why we call it the night owls, huh? Caitlin B, so good to see you. Hi, guys. Sweet, I love that. What song is that from? Is it Castles in the Sky? I don't know those lyrics off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to go listen. I'm gonna have to go listen now. And RS, I see you started. I love that. Oh, there we go. RS says it's a song called Castles in the Sky, old school classic techno song from the 90s. I should definitely know it, and I cannot hear it at all in my head right now. So you guys, I gotta go find it. That's awesome, Dana. Scarlett is a dino nerd. That's awesome. Hey, Roxanne. Oh, RS and Sweet, you guys said it's Ian Van Dahl. Okay. I will check it out. All right, you guys. Brittany, hi. I almost missed you up there. Thanks again, and so Mom, so good to see you again. JJ, hi. And Shallon, delighted you made it tonight. Reaches Magic, great to see you. That is a great drag name. Poppy Maraca. Actually, that should be any kind of a name. That should be a drink. That should be like the name of a club. That should be literally Poppy Maraca. That is an amazing name. I love it. Angelina Davina. Mancy Luthra, hi. Wet Level 818, great to see you. Oh, JJ, that's wonderful. Have a great time in Mexico. It's a beautiful country. And oh my God, the history there is so incredible. I really, really loved Coba. That was absolutely amazing. That was a very, it's one of the most unique places that I've ever been. And swimming in the cenotes, that was amazing. Oh, incredible. Yes, Lily, good point. Yeah. Hi, Tina. Hello, smile, please. Krabby Girl 76. Hi. The full moon is a powerful thing. I usually don't sleep during the full moon, but strangely, I have been sleeping like a babe. Especially the night of the full moon. I slept like a little angel. April Fresh, great to see you. Oh, and AC's, you came and you stayed tonight. I'm so honored. Anybody that I missed higher up, I'm sorry, the chat won't let me go back any further because I've been on for a bit. So forgive me if I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. It wasn't through choice. Windy E and Voyager 2. Dana, I do too. I think the name Poppy is beautiful. Also, I love poppy flowers. Astronoid, probably. Yeah. It's always like that. Like, there's also some songs where I've never known what the title of a song was, but like you hear it and you know it. And then you go, that's what they called that song. I never knew. That I've had that happen a bunch of times. All right, you guys, have a great night. Really good to see you. And I will see you guys again. Oh, yeah. Thank you again, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. You're so sweet. So sweet. Seashells, you'll be perfect. Don't worry. You can rewatch any old time. Yeah, Ruben, I see the heart. That must mean that Noah is riding along in your backpack still. Calm to you, Angel. Sending all the good balancing healing out to AC. I love that. And Nikki O, if or when you see this, just know we're all thinking of you, babe. You and your daughter. NH, so good to see you. All right, you guys. I will catch you for several more zodiacs tonight. Right now, we're going to do Cancerian on this channel, and then I'll bounce back to the other channel. All right, you guys. Bye for now. Cherry, it's my pleasure. Thanks for popping by. Aries.